All right. Wow, that sucked. All right, sorry guys, we're a little late tonight. YouTube was not recognizing my camera setup and was trying to trying to record me through the laptop webcam, which obviously would not work out very well. So we're a little bit late. I didn't realize it until after we had already gotten started a little bit that it was not working properly. So what we've got tonight, this is a Yamaha 450 four-wheeler swing arm. Guy's doing some kind of a weird motor swap in it. And the rear mount for the pivot is actually a little, the original swing arm was too narrow here in the center. So had a buddy machine this down. We've got a little plate from a company that specializes in this stuff to fill back in the swing arm. And so you've got to be kidding me. What the heck? YouTube is playing some tricks with me tonight. It's not cooperating. I think it just lost my camera signal. Again. Hold on, bear with me, guys. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Again, for the fourth time. All right. All the technical issues tonight. So, Yamaha 450 swing arm for a four-wheeler. It's cast aluminum. It's like 3/16 thick. I've got my 325 EXT set up at 280 amps, 35% balance, and we're running 100 hertz. Yeah, guys, I don't know what's going on with YouTube tonight. It's not liking my camera setup tonight all of a sudden. So hopefully that's the end of our problems. This is like the fourth time I've tried to do this tonight, so let's get started. I've already got this little plate tacked up. Everything's cleaned up, ready to go. So I'm going to use some 1/8 inch 4043 to weld this up. All right, let's see. You guys hear me all right now? Looks like we lost audio for a second. I'm going to make a couple passes on this without going to the art cam. So we'll make a few passes and then we'll try to get the art cam on and up and running. So this is a nice little position here. Now normally I'd switch out this back cap, but all my stuff's kind of put off to the side right now, so I'm not even going to worry about it. We're just going to kind of show you some awkward positions. All right, tuck back in. All right. Well, it looks like the art cam is going to play nice for a little bit tonight, so I'll go ahead and make this next run with the art cam on. All right, here we go. Now this is cast aluminum. Let me get this blocked up a little bit better. And so far, this Yamaha cast aluminum has been welding really nice for me so far. Let's get back on the arc cam. See, I've got a pretty nice gap here. Make sure this sinks in nice and hot. Yeah, Derek, nothing real relevant. Just kind of going over what this part is, general setup. And Joshua, so when I'm welding cast, it kind of depends. Like when I tack it up, I'll generally start at 35% balance, which is where I'm at tonight, and just kind of see how tacking it up goes. And if it tacks up pretty clean, which this did, then I'll usually just leave it at 35%. Now, sometimes if I'm working on like a valve cover or something that's had a lot of oil in it, I mean, of course, I'll get it as clean as I can, you know, through mechanical means. And then I'll usually go to 40% just to start out on something that's been oily. And then, again, see how it tacks up, kind of go from there. If it still tacks up pretty dirty, then I'll go up to 45 or 50% balance. And that's generally the highest I'll go is 50%. I haven't found a need to go any higher than that, even if it's super dirty. And Mountain Garage, I'm running 281 amps on the machine. This is like 3/16 thick, so I'm not using all of that. I'm probably only really using 200 amps. But I just wanted the extra there to make sure that I get it nice and hot. So let's do this last run, and then this thing will actually just be about done. I'll probably run one more pass here in the center, and then this will be done, and then we'll be pretty much open for questions, see what you guys want to see or want to know. Let's get back on the arc shot cam. All right, so I'll run one more pass through the center here just to clean it up, and we will be done with this part for the night. A little bit of fill right here. All right, there we go. I'm at 50% balance. I tell you what, let me set this aside, and I will grab my plate over here, and let's play with some balance for a little bit. So again, I'm not going to change anything right now. I'll hop over here after a run, and we'll change balances around. So Joshua, this is again 35% balance. So let's get under the arc cam. And I'm not cleaning this material at all. It's pretty clean. It's got a little bit of oxide on it, but not bad. So obviously nice clean start there. Said 35% balance. Hopefully the arc cam didn't kick out. Nope, it's still good. Let's run another one. And this is on 090 material. So I'm really only using probably 95 amps, maybe 100 amps. Using 3/32 filler now. So we'll leave a big crater there at the end, no big deal. All right, now I'm gonna hop up and let's adjust the machine. We'll go up to 50% balance. And the arc really shouldn't wander around. All right, so now we're up to 50% balance. Let's get back on the plate. All right, Joshua, now we're back on 50% balance. Go arc cam, picture in picture. Guys, let me know if I'm in frame. So you can see, Joshua, no real difference in the arc stability here. Just really a little bit more etching. And it started to ball my tungsten up quite a bit faster. We can go ahead and make another couple runs. Let's make another run at 50%, and then we'll go up to like 70% balance. So yeah, still nice and smooth at 50%. Nothing real crazy going on. Hey, Ralph, it's my pleasure, man. I really appreciate you coming and joining us more than anything, really. All right, so we did a run at 35%, a run at 50%. Let's go up to 75%, and then we'll go to 90. Really shouldn't see any difference in the arc stabilization. We'll come around. All right, we're at 75% now. Now, obviously, at 75% balance, this is going to be putting a lot more heat into the tungsten. So I'm hoping on the arc shot cam, we can see that. We can see the tungsten start to ball up. So here we go. We're at 75% balance now. And my tungsten is loving that. So now the tungsten's stabilized. It's got a nice big ball on it. Had a weird start just because that ball formed so fast on the tungsten and got so big that it was the actual ball on the tungsten was unstable. So now that we've got a little more stable ball, let's go back to the arc shot. Check this out. So again, we're at 75% balance. If you guys are just joining us, we had a guy ask a question about if going up in balance creates arc stability issues. I think we were in some really nasty gunk there for a second. There we go. So we can go ahead at 90%. It's just going to fry this tungsten, but we can go up to it just to kind of show you guys what it looks like. Let me hop over there real quick. Oh. So we'll go up to, so this is maxed out. This is the most electrode positive you can run on the 325 EXT. So we're maxed out on our electrode positive side of the waveform. So it's probably just going to fry this tungsten almost instantly, but that's what we're here for, to show you guys what things do. So here we go. Here's 90% balance. And really, I'm having a hard time getting enough heat into the material without frying this tungsten. There we go. Now the ball's kind of stabilized. So the main thing is just that ball stabilizing. Richard, does the bead look better? I'm going to say no. Really, when you get really dialed in on your balance, between running too much, not enough, obviously we can run a couple more at, a really low balance, like 15, 20, 25, and kind of, I know it's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see the difference here without being on the art cam. Excuse me, but I've always found when you get really dialed in and you're not running too much or too little, I mean, that's when the bead's going to look its best. If you run, this is pretty thin, but if you're running a thicker material and you're running too much balance, you'll tend to stick around. You'll dip your filler rod, you'll tend to stick around on it a while, and then that's when you'll get, if you're running 40, 43, that's when you'll get the really gray bead or the grainy bead. And even running like 53, 56, or I like to run 55, 54 now. If you're hanging out over that bead too long and your travel speed's not fast enough, it's not going to have the nice shine to it. So really, the less balance you can run and not get pepper or like little black spots coming up in your bead, the better. You're just going to have your maximum heat input, so your travel speed is going to be as fast as possible. So I typically run a little bit more balance than I think probably most people like to on clean aluminum. I just like to make sure that I'm not having any gunk float up in the pool. I want to make sure it's all burned away. So let's go back to the machine. I'll go up to like 90, I mean, not 90. We'll go back down to like 20% and then go down to 10%. So we'll go balance. Let's go down to 20. And guys, I actually just checked with Everlast today. I will be getting a 225 MTS Lightning in on Thursday. So next week's show, I plan on having a 225 Lightning probably sitting right here. I just get a lot of questions about that machine and the programming. So we thought it would be best just to go ahead and have one on the show and show you guys how to run an MTS. So here we are. We're back at 20% balance. I'm going to swap this tungsten out just because the ball is so big, so it's going to be hard to see for you guys what's going on. My little tungsten collection here. All right. So fresh tungsten, we're at 20% balance. Let's go arc shot cam, picture in picture. Try this again. So here we are at 20% balance. It might be hard to see on the arc shot cam, but compared to my 35% I was running earlier, I'm getting quite a bit more what we call pepper in the weld, where you get little black spots in the bead. See if I can get my face a little closer for you guys. Well, thankfully the arc shot cam's playing pretty nice tonight, so that's great. So that was at 20% balance. Let's go ahead and jump up to 10%. Derek, so like when I'm building something, I just got done building a bunch of intercoolers for a subcontract job. And generally on a single part, I won't change my balance. I pretty much stick to 35% balance. Honestly, if my 325 was stuck at 35% balance, I'd probably be okay with it because for me, that just kind of does everything. It'll do, like I said, it did this cast, it'll do clean sheet. And, you guys, if you've been following me at all, you've seen my work. I don't get an excessive amount of etching. So for me, just 35% balance seems to be a really good all around setting. I could dial it back here and there on some of the cleaner stuff, but really 35% works pretty good. And I don't really change it. Now, even if I was welding on something like the swing arm, if I had more of a weld to do and I started out at 35% and then I went to 40, I wouldn't change my tungsten or regrind it, especially going up in frequency on an Everlast, so up in your percentage electrode positive. I wouldn't change my tungsten just because it's going to ball up anyway. Now, if you start out real high on your balance and then start going down, then yeah, I would probably consider pulling it out and regrinding it, just because you're not going to have as much of a ball at those lower balance numbers. So if you were going from high to low, I'd probably regrind. If you're going from low to high, it's going to ball up anyway. And the more you go up, the more it's going to ball. So I wouldn't change my tungsten unless that ball got too big and then you wanted to kind of refreshen it. But other than that, I wouldn't regrind my tungsten based on balance. Okay, so Joshua, great question. How do you know when to go more or less balanced? So I'm going to see if I can walk out there and manually adjust the camera to focus in on this, because that's actually a really good question. This is one of those times when I wish I had a little handy cam, which I am purchasing this week. So let's manually focus this. Okay, so right here is that run we just did at 20% balance. You can see it was a really dirty start. Let's try to get, you can kind of see some of the black specks in it. So that's going to be an indication that we need to go up on our electrode positive. Now you get down to like, a little bit cleaner run right here. Etching's not too bad. There's no pepper in it, so then we know we're pretty good. So let me readjust this focus back to the weld table. So yeah, that was actually a really good question, and it's hard to see without being right up close on the weld. But generally, yeah, if you're welding along and you can see black spots kind of coming up in the weld, then either one, you need to stop and clean your material a little bit better, or you can go up on balance. I usually go up by 5s. So if I'm at 30% and I see it's a little dirty, I'll go 35. If it cleans up a little bit, excuse me, and then it's still a little dirty, I'll go up another 5 and just try to get it to clean up on balance. Outdoor Zone, thank you, man. I appreciate you guys coming by, stopping and watching. We got 38 people in here right now, so that's pretty cool. Let me tell you guys, if you've just joining us for the first time, we're going to be doing this weekly. So every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. And it actually looks like I got the color a little dark on the camera, so I'll have to run back out there and adjust it a little bit. But 7 p.m. Central Time every Monday night, I'm going to be doing something, whether I'm sitting here just staring at you guys, talking to myself, working on something for a customer. Last week, I had a couple intercoolers I was working on. So I've got a couple companies I do subcontract work for. And I think as we get more cameras where I can get more of an overhead shot, we might just do a lot of I'm working, building something, letting you guys watch, ask questions about what I'm doing, and just kind of stop and take questions, show you guys something. Right now, I don't have a whole lot of stainless on hand, but we can do stainless. I've got a Pulse MIG machine. When I get the 225 MTS next week, I'll have a spool of hardwire in it, so we can switch pretty easily from AC, DC TIG, hardwire MIG, short circuit MIG. So yeah, you guys always feel free to ask questions. So Mountain's Garage in my private shop. So I'm in a weird spot where I'm slowly working towards getting out of my own. I've been fortunate that I've built a pretty good reputation here locally in Kansas City. So I get quite a bit of side work. I get some subcontract work sent to me, a little bit of piece work. So not really a private shop. I'm kind of open to whatever comes through the door. I mainly try to focus on subcontract work, just because it's a little bit easier to schedule, a little bit easier, to deal with like shipping out one large shipment with, 30, 40 parts on it instead of trying to ship out 30 or 40 single items. But I do have a day job. I'm in the aerospace field. So I'll work, 6 to 2:30 Monday through Friday. And then I'm usually hammering away in here at least 3 or 4 nights a week till 9:30, 10 o'clock. So Matt, really, man, I'm open for anything. Like this is, I'm here and it's my show, but it's really your guys' show. So if you guys have a question about running a business or how you bid stuff, those are questions I'm willing to answer. There's no secrets here, nothing to hide. So, if you had a question about how to bid something or, not paying as much in tax, stuff like that. I'm not going to say I'm the best resource, but, from my experience, I'll definitely let you know what I do or, how I do things. Brian Redmond, I have not used I think they call it Solar Flux. I haven't used the paste, but at work, we do have some ceramic backing plates that we haven't used them yet in the year I've been there. But then again, we're welding a lot of like 1/4 inch thick stainless. We're doing a lot of like ground support stuff. But yeah, so that's, we haven't used them, but we have them available. I do use a lot of copper backers, especially on some of my thinner aluminum work. I usually have a little piece of bar stock up here that I use as a backer for aluminum. It's like a solid brass, like 1x1 square that I'll clamp into the backside of a joint if it's pretty thin. So I do use some heat sinks on aluminum every now and then. I haven't used one on stainless just because I've been welding a lot of heavy stainless lately. Oh. So Matt, the way I find reliable work, honestly, I've been really fortunate in the industry. I've got a pretty decent following on Instagram, and then I've been pretty active on the Facebook weld groups for a long time. I don't want to say I'm well known, but my name's out there. I put myself out there quite a bit and make it known that I'm open for subcontract work. And so, I've been super lucky. I haven't had to go hunt for like piecework. I've had a lot of companies come to me and ask me to do stuff for them, which I'm grateful for. It's been not to brag, but it's been really cool. But I haven't had to go out there and like hunt for work. Now, when it comes to like doing little side jobs, repair like this, kind of the same thing. I've built enough of a name locally that honestly, I get random people calling me, asking me to weld. This was a random guy that heard from a friend that there's some guy out in the country that welds aluminum. So he got my number and here we are. I'm going to hop out there and adjust the camera real quick. It got super dark when I was messing with the focus. So give me just a second, guys. Try to brighten this up a little bit. There we go. I could hardly see myself. Okay, next question. Okay, Joshua. So again, I run on 220. I guess technically it's 240. I don't know if you can. Here's my panel right back here. I've got it kind of hidden with this banner. But I just run 240 single phase. it's just me out here working, so I don't really need a ton of power. I actually, funny enough, I just spoke to my electric company about running a 200 amp drop out to my shop. But yeah, just single phase for me right now. And so between single phase and three phase is going to use a lot less power. It's basically like having a faucet and having it half open or having it all the way open. So it's a lot easier. Oh, excuse me. You just use a lot less electricity or a lot less amperage draw when you're on three phase. And as you go up in voltage, you go down in amperage draw. So if you've got a machine running on 110 that is going to draw, let's say 45 amps, on 240, it might only draw 25 amps. So you're going to get less amperage draw as you go up in voltage. So that's when see like a lot of big industrial shops where they're running, 10 or 15 welders. A lot of those are going to be hardwired into the wall and be three phase. Generally, I've seen up to 480, but I see a lot more three phase 240 or three phase 220. It's just a little bit more common. But the weld shop I was in high school, we had 483 phase, and we ran a couple big machines off that. But generally now with the inverters, they're so much more efficient on their electricity usage. I don't know if I've seen a machine that was 483 phase for a while, unless it was like one model that was 483 phase. Maybe like the Dynasty 800 might be 483 phase. Everlast does offer the 255 EXT. Or is it just the 325? Maybe just the 325 and a three phase 480 version. But I know the amperage draw on that is super low. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, MX Star, the MTS 225 is a pretty handy little machine. Like, so you get pretty much a full featured TIG machine with a really powerful big machine attached to it. So it's basically like an EXT series TIG machine with a MIG welder on the inside of it. And I'm going to be running that 225 on here for a while. And then eventually we're going to get a 275 in here. But yeah, I should have the 225 MTS basically sitting. I'm going to try to sit it right here. I might have to block one side of the fans off. But I'm going to try to have it right here on the bench with me for you guys. So the Gaming Ham, he's from the UK. Said he's looking for tips and tricks to help me and others like me. Can you help? That's why I'm doing this, man. That's why we're doing the live stream, is just so I've got another avenue where people can get a hold of me and I can help them out. And that's one thing with this camera and with the ArcShot cam, I can actually make a private live feed on YouTube and invite you to it. It'll look just like this, where you can ask questions, comment. I think I can even bring you on camera, and we can do like kind of like a Zoom call. But that's why we're doing this. That's it exactly, 100%. So I can leave in my. I'm actually going to enter in the comment now. You can find me on Instagram at mccollum.weldfab. So look me up on Instagram, send me a message. I'm more than happy to help you out. Maybe we can connect on something on here and go over some stuff. Or I've honestly taught a lot of people how to weld via Facebook Messenger and Instagram. So yeah, hit me up with any questions you have, man. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Oh, so if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. I'm going to grab some material and just start welding some stuff up just for fun. I need to reset the machine a little bit. We're on this kind of weird outside corner. So I'm going to set the machine back up. I'm going to go down to 121 amps. Actually, go 130 amps at 130 hertz. and 35% balance. Oh. So one thing we can maybe get into one night, guys. I don't know if any of you have followed me for a while. I'm pretty well known for running the gas lens on aluminum. There's a lot of different theories on that, and that's something we can go over one night. I'd have to dig out all my standard cups, so probably not tonight, but that's something we can kind of go through if you guys want to see the difference. We just did a video for Everlast a couple weeks ago where we were comparing like a 5 standard to a 5 gas lens. And so I could get like a 5 and a 7 and an 8 standard. And then I've got all those in a gas lens. So we could kind of run through some different stuff. So if there's anything you guys want to see, let me know in the comments or hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. I'm a moderator on the Everlast Facebook group. So you can find me on there and then send me a message and with something you want to see or a demo you'd like to see, any question you have, and I'll try to get onto the show. So Jay Smith, actually, I've got a 253 DPI sitting right out on the other side of my shop. And that is something I'm looking to, honestly, I need to play with it some more and get a little bit better at it. Aluminum MIG is not my strongest suit, but I am working on that, trying to practice a little bit so I'm not just feeding you guys a bunch of bullshit when we run that. But I do have a 253 DPI, and the little bit I have ran it, I love the thing. For doing production MIG work or production aluminum work, if it was like on a boat or something like that, and it'd be a serious time saver. Just a little bit I have used it. It's been really slick. I just not quite dialed in on it enough to really, feel like I'm coming from a position of authority on how to set up and run that thing. But that is on the list. The 253 DPI is on the list. And we actually have a video we shot 2 or 3 months ago that's unreleased still, where we did some real basic 253 DPI settings. So that should be coming out sometime soon. So Todd, if you're watching, let me know when that's going to come out. Looking to buy a TIG for aluminum and stainless. I'm going to be making saddle hub platforms. So Pat Plant, if you can comment back, I'm not really for sure what you're talking about building, but if you let me know what kind of thicknesses you're going to be running, I can kind of guide you on what kind of amperage output you want. Personally, I've got a 250 EX, which you can see right here, and then I've got my 325 EXT just barely out of the frame. There you are, Todd. Release that 253 DPI video. So yeah, your amperage output is really going to dictate, what machine you need. If you're welding up a bunch of 1/4-inch aluminum, a 210 EXT is not going to be your best choice. It will do it, and we've got a video on the Everlast channel welding up some 1/4-inch aluminum with a 210 EXT, but definitely not the best choice. If you're going to be welding a ton of 1/4-inch, I'd go with the 255 EXT, the 315 LX, which is an analog machine. Just it's got knobs instead of the digital readout. A few less features, but still super powerful. And then the 325 EXT and 350 EXT. So it just kind of depends on what thickness you're running. I mean, if you're not going over 1/8 inch, then like a 200 DV would be just fine if you're just going to weld a bunch of 1/8 inch. Something that confuses me on that machine, I can change wire feed speed, amperage voltage. Yeah, MX Star, I've still got to play around with my 253 DPI a lot. That machine, it's as complicated as like an inverter TIG machine. It's a very highly underrated MIG machine, and it's actually pretty damn complicated. So if you guys are looking at doing some like production MIG aluminum work, the 253 is a great machine, but just know that it's a powerhouse and it's meant for heavy commercial work. So it's got a lot of settings and features that even I don't understand right now because I haven't read through the manual enough. Yeah, St. Joe, the art cam is being awesome tonight. I'm kind of surprised. Science Welding, greetings from Kansas City, Missouri. Oh, so I'm wrecking my throat. Let's get a drink. Let's get back under the art cam for a minute and see if we can get a good shot with this art cam tonight. So this is 090 5052. So I'm running about 100 amps. Still didn't lock up. That's awesome. Let's see. So Pat Plant, do I recommend an MTS machine? Actually, we're going to have one on the channel. I don't know if you joined us a little late. I'm going to have one on the channel starting next Monday. It'll be in on Thursday. I think I'll probably wait to open it until next Monday. Just kind of do, an unboxing on the show. So I'll have it here. I'll just cut the box open, pull it out, and we can run through everything on it real quick. I'll run some DC TIG, some AC TIG. We can even throw a spool of hardwire in it, run some hardwire short circuit MIG. So, but yeah, I mean, if you want if you got like a small hobby shop, you want a machine that is real compact and kind of do everything for you, the MTS 225 and 275 would be a pretty hot setup. Especially, they've got a water cooler plug on the back of them, so you can very easily stack it with a water cooler on a cart and have a really powerful, basically production ready TIG stick and MIG machine in your hobby shop. So let's run a couple more. You guys can ask some questions. We're getting to be about 45 minutes. So we'll probably shut it down here another 5 or 10 minutes. It's getting to be 9 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock my time here in Kansas City. So I got to get my boys to bed, get to bed myself. But we'll go about another 10 minutes. So you guys have any questions, hit me up. Yeah, I don't have much stainless right now. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, hit me up. I'm going to be having some fun welding this, waiting on you guys. So I'm using 3/32 filler on this run. See, I'm just real lightly tucking it in. Let's go to some 1/16. Oh, art cam finally locked up. Oh, okay. So there we go. I'm back. Kevin, this swing arm is off a Yamaha 450 four-wheeler. The guy's doing some kind of a weird motor swap. I actually don't know what he's putting in it, but the new engine, the rear mount for the swing arm is a little bit wider than the stock engine, so we had to clearance out this bottom piece a little bit. You can kind of see where we had to cut this notch, and I welded a plate in there. So that was just a real quick little side job I had that was rolling through the shop. So I'm currently using an AHP 201 XD, debating on buying a secondary, more affordable machine like a Prime Weld, or should I just get the Everlast 250 EX? So, guys looking for a second affordable machine. Honestly, man, if you can wait a couple of days, what's today's date? The 7th. So on February 15th, I believe, and I can check with my boy Todd, Everlast is going to have a pretty big announcement about an update to their warranty. So you could hold off a couple days. I can't announce the warranty update just quite yet. But if I were you, I'd hold off and wait a few days and check out the update to the Everlast warranty. I think it'll definitely help sway your mind to go green. So I'm going to go from 3/32 filler to 1/16 filler on here. See if you guys can. I know that camera locked up, so I'll have to go back to 3/32. Hey, Caesar, thanks for Caesar, thanks for coming by, man. I appreciate you joining us tonight. Again, if you guys have just joined us, we've got quite a few more people in here now, but we're going to be doing this live stream every Monday night starting at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm in Kansas City, so Central Time's easier for me to keep track of. But every Monday, we're going to be doing something. I mean, tonight I had a bunch of work over the weekend, and I got done with it a little bit faster than I thought I would. So I didn't have as much work tonight, which was kind of nice. Gives me a little bit more time to kind of hang out and read through the comments a little more. But yeah, whether I'm working on something like this, I can do some of my own personal builds. But that's what we're doing every Monday for the live stream. We got live arc shots. Basically, the idea of this is to let you guys kind of watch how I work. You know, see how I position different things. Like last week, we had a lot of questions about my little support jig. I mean, that might even be something I can gather up some material. And I mean, this is a pretty simple build, but it is something I could show you guys how to do one of these. But yeah, that's the plan. Just kind of let you guys see me work, ask questions as you see something that either you don't understand or want to know more about. And that's kind of the purpose here. Hey, Richard, I just saw your comment on the 210. Do you use the advanced AC pulse any? We just did a video on that, and I've actually had quite a bit of response from boat guys that are actually using a 210 EXT as their mobile machine. And a couple of them didn't even know about the advanced AC pulse. And they said it's been a real time saver. So, Richard, if you're still with us, have you used the advanced AC pulse much? Especially out in the field. So since the arc cam locked up when I was making my 3/32 filler run, I'll go ahead and go back. Let's jump back on some 3/32 filler on this outside corner joint. I can't believe the arc cam is working so good tonight. Oh, Well, we're coming up on an hour, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. It's 9:15, or gosh, 8:15. My laptop's set to a different time zone. But then we got 51 people. That's awesome, man. We've had a bunch of people tonight. Hey, Jeeper. That's what we're here for, man. I've been welding aluminum now, geez, going on 16 years, 17 years. And yeah, I'm still learning stuff. Actually, we did a cup demonstration video a couple months ago, and just we ran what, a 5 standard, a 5 gas lens, and actually an 18 gas lens on aluminum. And honestly, man, that was a big surprise for me. I'm still learning stuff. I mean, that little demo we did with cup sizes actually taught me quite a bit, and not just about how to run a super huge cup that you don't need. It taught me a lot about gas flow. So just experimenting with stuff, man, you can learn some really, really weird, cool little tricks. Going ham. Yeah, Bob Moffat is a good buddy of mine. Love talking to that dude. I got to plan out when I call him because it's usually a 2 or 3 hour phone call. We get a little Bob Moffat story time. But yeah, I love talking to that guy. I've learned a lot from him. And actually, quick story about Bob. I was having some issues with porosity when I was trying to get my D17.1 6061 T6 cert when I was going into aerospace. And actually, Bob Moffat helped me out a lot with some porosity issues we were dealing with. I wish I could do a really good demonstration of that. That might be something I try to work at, getting a good setup, showing you guys how to run test plates, especially TIG test plates. But yeah, Bob is an awesome resource of information. I'm kind of sad that he's going to retire this year. Maybe it'll give him more time to come up here and hang out with me, so maybe it'll be cool. And then Bob and I can get together with Todd and play some golf. So Pat Miller, what's the word on the MTS demo? And you want to see a spool gun? I'm getting an MTS on Thursday, so it'll be my main machine on the show starting next Monday. I'll talk to the front office and see about getting a spool gun for that. So Todd, if you're still watching, I'll hit you up about that as soon as I sign off of here in a couple minutes, and just see what we can do about maybe getting a spool gun on that thing. Let's see. So yeah, we're coming up on an hour, guys. Let's go ahead and cut it for tonight. I'll try to get some more stuff together for next week. Have a little bit more like projects to work on or something like that. But minus some torch angle real quick. Yeah, Derek, let's do that. So that is the one thing that about a gas lens that's kind of like cheating. You can get away with a lot more with a gas lens. That's kind of why I recommend people start out with a standard cup and collet before going to a gas lens, because with a gas lens, you can learn some really bad habits just because you can get away with so much. So let's see. Let's go back to this joint. It's a little bit easier to run a joint instead of just running a flat plate. So I'm going to leave the arc cam off for now. Nah, Derek, no problem, man. It's all good. So can you see? Yeah, you guys can kind of see that. So I'll kind of get out of the way so the background will catch my torch more. So I tend to run, it just kind of depends on the joint. Now I'll kind of start straight up and down for my start. And then as I roll along, I'll probably get I don't know, what, 10, 15 degree lean in my torch. You know, we can run it straight up and down. So that's the thing with the gas lens. Let me reposition my arm and we'll kind of show you like a real radical torch angle. So here I'm probably running like a 45-degree torch angle. I can roll it up, where I'm almost perpendicular. Roll it back down. Let's get on the arc shot for that. That might be something something worth looking at on the arc cam. So let me try this real quick. Here we go. So we're going to start real perpendicular to the workpiece. As I go along, I'm going to really roll my torch back. Like I said, this is one thing about running a gas lens for me, and one of the reasons I do is because some of the parts I work on have some really tight spots and some real bad angles, and I need the extra gas coverage of a gas lens to be able to get into those spots, because I'm not always being able to run a perfect torch angle. So that's with a gas lens, when you're set up really right, you've got a lot more leeway. So like I said, it's kind of like cheating, and that's why I said I don't recommend people starting with a gas lens, just because it will teach you some bad habits. And there's a time and place for everything. There's a time and place for everything. So I still use a standard cup and collet on a couple of the parts I build where an area is like super tight. Just because a gas lens is a little bit bulkier, you can't get it into all the spots. You can get a small cup and collet. But yeah, I run a gas lens mainly because of the leeway and torch angle on some of the things, as I'm trying to roll around a part doing production, so I'm not having to stop and restart so much. Yeah, and Derek, sometimes on this art cam too, I'm still getting used to running it. So some of it I might be, trying to hold the torch to get my hand out of the way. So I might be running a little bit goofier torch angle than I normally would, just for the sake of trying to stay in focus on this thing. But Jay Smith, thanks for coming by, man. I appreciate it. I can't tell you guys how much it means to me that we have so many people showing up just to listen to me talk to myself in my garage. It's pretty amazing. So Jeeper, appreciate it, buddy. I'm going to go ahead and get out, guys. Come back next week, 7 p.m., same place. So again, guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It means the world to me that you guys want to come and sit with me and kind of bullshit, ask me some questions. It really does. It means the world that you guys want to come and hang out. So hopefully we can grow this a little bit. We can start having a little bit better program. As we get going, I'm going to start trying to get some more material. But we'll try to get like really rolling on this. We're still kind of in the beta phase. Just trying to get my feet under me, trying to get used to being on the camera, trying to get used to working this thing, get used to looking over. So yeah, stick with me, guys. It's going to get a lot better. I'm so stoked that it's doing so well already. But as we go along, we'll get into more material, more processes. Having that MTS next week will really help. We can switch over super, super fast. A matter of, 30 seconds to a minute, I can switch, from MIG to stick. And we may even do some stick aluminum or something crazy next week, just for shits and giggles. So appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next week.